You say you want to be rich, but let's be honest, you don't. You say it, but you don't mean it. Because if you did, you'd be doing something about it right now. You'd be grinding, learning, building, not wasting another precious second scrolling through your phone or sleeping till noon. The truth is, most people don't want success, they want comfort. They want to feel good, not to win. And that's why they'll stay broke forever. You're broke not because the system is against you, not because life is unfair, but because you've chosen comfort over progress. You've chosen easy over excellence. The problem is that comfort feels nice. It's soft, it's safe, it whispers lies to you. It tells you that you can take a day off, that you deserve rest, that you'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. And every time you delay, every time you hit snooze, every time you pick pleasure over progress, you lose. You waste the only thing that truly matters, time. You keep thinking there will be another chance, another opportunity, another day to start. But life doesn't care. It keeps moving while you sit still. I've met people who say they want to make money, who say they want to change their lives, but when I look at how they spend their days, it's a joke. They talk more than they act. They plan more than they execute. They dream more than they do. And you know what? That's why they'll stay exactly where they are. Because life doesn't reward the talkers, it rewards the doers. Life doesn't hand out prizes for potential, it rewards proof. People hide behind the word balance. They say, I need balance, as if that's a noble excuse to be lazy. Balance doesn't make you rich. Obsession does. Discipline does. Sacrifice does. The greats didn't get there by balancing comfort and ambition. They got there by burning comfort to the ground. They turned their hunger into a weapon. They didn't chase motivation, they chased mastery. You're broke because you've normalized mediocrity. You've made peace with being average. You've accepted that it's okay to coast through life as long as you're doing okay. But okay isn't enough. Okay won't change your family's life. Okay won't buy freedom. Okay won't silence the doubts that keep you up at night. You say you want more, but you act like less. That's the brutal truth most people don't want to hear. Every successful person you admire, every millionaire you look up to, every man who escaped the system, they all had a breaking point. A moment when they looked in the mirror and said, enough wasting time, enough excuses, enough comfort. That's the moment everything changes. Because success starts the second you stop lying to yourself. Most people live like they have unlimited time, as if they can afford to waste years figuring things out. But they can't. None of us can. The clock is ticking whether you move or not. And while you waste time convincing yourself it's not your fault, someone out there is using that same time to build their empire. The world doesn't slow down for you. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It rewards the ones who show up regardless of how they feel. Comfort kills ambition. It doesn't stab you in the back, it seduces you. It makes you soft, makes you settle, makes you believe that good enough is good enough. But every time you settle, you bury the version of you that could have been unstoppable. The world is full of men who could have been legends but chose Netflix instead. Men who could have built empires but chose sleep instead. You need to get angry with yourself. You need to feel disgusted when you realize how much time you've thrown away. That anger, that fire is what will push you to move. Comfort will never build the life you want. It will only numb you while it takes it away. The difference between the rich and the broke isn't luck. It's mindset. The rich use discomfort as fuel. The broke run from it. The rich chase growth. The broke chase ease. And every day you choose which one you are. You think you're working hard, but let me tell you something, you're not even close. You've been lied to your whole life about what hard work actually is. You've been told that working 8 hours a day makes you productive, that having weekends off is normal, that taking breaks is healthy. But look at your results. Are you rich? Are you free? Are you powerful? No, because average effort creates average results. The truth is, the world doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care how many hours you've worked. It only cares about outcomes. You say you're grinding, but what are you grinding for? You check your phone 100 times a day, scroll mindlessly, watch shows, waste hours pretending it's relaxation. You spend more time thinking about the life you want than taking action to build it. And then you wonder why you're stuck. You're not tired from hard work. You're tired from doing nothing that matters. You waste your energy on distractions, on meaningless habits, on fake progress that feels productive but leads nowhere. You want success to come at your convenience. You want wealth, but you want it without struggle. You want freedom, but you refuse the fight. You want to win, but you don't want to hurt. You don't want to sacrifice. That's the disease that keeps most people broke forever. You want the result, but not the grind. You love the idea of success more than the price it costs to achieve it. You see, real hard work isn't glamorous. It's not what you see on social media. It's waking up when you're exhausted, showing up when you're uninspired, pushing through when no one's watching. It's the hours you put in when you don't feel like it, the sacrifices you make when no one's cheering for you. Hard work is lonely, it's quiet, it's repetitive. And that's why most people will never taste real success, because they quit the second it gets uncomfortable. Let me tell you the truth, the universe doesn't reward wishes. It rewards persistence. Every moment you spend complaining about how unfair life is, someone else is using that time to get ahead. They're learning, building, adapting, creating opportunities while you're convincing yourself that your situation is unique. It's not. You're not the only one with problems. You're not the only one who's tired. You're not the only one who's struggling. The difference is some people keep moving through the pain while others let it stop them. The reason you're not rich yet isn't because the world is unfair. It's because you haven't earned it. You haven't put in the hours required to separate yourself from the masses. You think you've done enough, but enough is never enough. The market pays for value, not effort. And if your value isn't rare, your rewards won't be either. Everyone works, but few people work with purpose. Everyone moves, but few move with direction. Most people spend their time looking for shortcuts. How can I make money fast? What's the easiest way to succeed? And that mindset alone guarantees failure. Because the moment you're searching for easy, you've already lost. There is no easy way. There's only the hard way, the right way. The path that breaks you, humbles you, shapes you into someone who can handle success when it finally arrives. Every minute you waste chasing pleasure, someone else is chasing purpose. And when those two people meet, the one with purpose always wins. The reason you're not rich yet is because you haven't built the habits that rich men live by. You don't respect time the way they do. You don't treat your goals like life and death the way they do. You think you have options they know they don't. You can't build an empire with part-time effort. You can't achieve greatness by working when it's convenient. You have to outwork everyone who's competing for the same dream. Because make no mistake, someone out there wants what you want, and they're willing to suffer more for it. They'll stay up longer, focus harder, and move faster while you're still thinking about starting. That's how winners are made, through relentless, consistent, obsessive execution. You don't become rich by accident. You become rich because you decide you're done living like everyone else. You stop making excuses. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't move you forward. You stop looking for comfort and start looking for pain, because pain is the doorway to power. Every second you waste is a second your competition is using. Every day you spend being tired is another day someone else gains ground on you. If you truly want wealth, then prove it not with your words, but with your actions. Let me tell you something powerful. Money is not rare. Opportunity is not rare. Discipline is. Everyone around you is playing the same game, but very few are truly competing. You see, money is everywhere, but the reason you don't have it is because you haven't earned the discipline to attract it. You think you need a better job, better luck, better timing. No, you need a better mindset. You need to become the type of person money is drawn to: focused, ruthless, consistent, unstoppable. Because money doesn't chase the lazy, it doesn't stay with the emotional, and it doesn't reward the undisciplined. Every rich man you see, the ones you admire, the ones driving the cars you dream of, living in the houses you screenshot for motivation, they didn't find some secret formula. They found discipline. They mastered themselves before they mastered the game. You can give two people the same opportunity, and one will build an empire while the other will waste it. What's the difference? Discipline. Self-control, the ability to stay consistent when everything in life tries to pull you away. The truth is, you already know what you need to do. You know the habits that are destroying your progress. You know you spend too much time on your phone. You know you waste your mornings. You know you procrastinate. But you still do it. Why? Because you don't respect yourself enough to follow through. You've trained your mind to accept weakness, to make excuses, to negotiate with laziness. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," your brain believes it. You've built an identity around quitting, and that's why you're stuck. People always ask me, "Tate, what's the secret to getting rich?" There's no secret. The secret is you stop behaving like everyone else. You stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like a producer. You stop chasing dopamine and start chasing progress. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They work when they feel motivated and quit when they don't. But discipline isn't about how you feel. It's about what you do regardless of how you feel. The man who learns to act without emotion will dominate the man who waits for motivation. You have to build a system so solid that your success becomes inevitable. You wake up, you work, you build, you grow day after day with no negotiation. You think discipline is punishment, but it's actually freedom. Freedom from weakness, freedom from failure, freedom from regret. Every time you choose discipline, you're buying your future back. Every time you give in to comfort, you're selling it away for pennies. The reason most people will never be rich isn't because they can't make money, it's because they can't control themselves. They can't control their time, their habits, their desires. They chase every shiny object, every distraction, every short-term pleasure that keeps them broke. You cannot build wealth with a weak mind. You cannot win if you're always reacting. You have to become the man who moves with purpose, not emotion. Success is war, and the battlefield is your mind. You're fighting against laziness, against comfort, against distraction, against the old version of you that wants to stay safe. That's your real enemy, not the government, not the system, not your boss. It's you, the undisciplined you, the version of you that wastes time, that doubts, that hesitates. And every day you let that version win. You push your dreams further away. The men who rise, the men who dominate, they're not necessarily smarter than you. They're just more consistent. They do the boring things every single day until they work. They've built routines so powerful that success becomes the only possible outcome. That's the difference between a dreamer and a winner. A dreamer waits for a perfect moment. A winner builds discipline until every moment becomes productive. You can't talk your way to success. You can't wish your way to freedom. You can't manifest wealth without the discipline to earn it. You must become obsessed with self-control, with mastering your habits, your thoughts, your time. Because when you master those, everything else falls into place. The cars, the money, the respect, they're not goals. They're side effects of discipline. Most people will never understand that the road to success isn't built on passion, it's built on repetition. Doing the same thing over and over again, perfectly, precisely, relentlessly. That's what makes you powerful. You have to become the type of man who is impossible to break, impossible to distract, impossible to stop. The type of man who doesn't waste time wondering how he just executes. That's the man money follows. That's the man success bows to. The reason you're not where you want to be isn't because life is unfair. It's because you don't understand value. You look at money as something you chase, not something you attract. You see, rich men don't chase money, they create value. And when you create value, money chases you. But the problem is, you want to get paid for existing, not producing. You want rewards without becoming someone who deserves them. You want wealth without being worth wealth. That's why you're stuck. You're thinking like a consumer in a world that rewards creators. Every single day, you spend money. You give your attention, your time, your energy to things that make other people rich. The phone in your hand, the apps you scroll, the clothes you wear, all of it makes someone else richer while you stay broke. And here's the brutal truth, that's your fault. You've trained yourself to be the product. You've trained yourself to consume instead of create. The world doesn't reward the consumer, it rewards the producer. The question is, which one are you? If you want to change your life, stop asking, how can I make money? And start asking, how can I create value? Because the second you start solving problems, the second you start providing something people want, the world pays attention. That's how wealth works. It flows to the man who provides solutions. The more people you help, the more problems you solve, the more valuable you become. Money follows value like a shadow follows light. But most people don't want to become valuable. They want to stay average and somehow be rewarded for it. They think showing up is enough. They think trying a little is enough. But in this world, average gets nothing. Average doesn't build freedom. Average doesn't earn respect. Average doesn't get noticed. The system doesn't reward effort, it rewards excellence. And you can't be excellent if you spend your time doing what everyone else does. You've got to stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a boss. Employees wait for orders. Bosses create opportunities. Employees trade time for money. Bosses trade ideas for wealth. You'll never build freedom by renting out your time because time is limited. The rich figured that out a long time ago. They stopped trading time for money and started trading systems, knowledge, and leverage. They built value that works even when they sleep. You can't win this game until you start playing it on their level. You have to build something that multiplies your time instead of consuming it. That means learning skills that compound communication, discipline, influence, creativity, leadership. Those are the tools of the wealthy. They're not chasing paychecks. They're building power, and power comes from value, from being irreplaceable. The man who can't be replaced can't be ignored. Ask yourself honestly, if you disappeared tomorrow, who would miss your value? Who would lose because you're gone? If the answer is no one, then that's your problem. You haven't built value. You haven't made yourself necessary. The world pays men who make themselves indispensable, not the ones who just exist. And this is where most people fail. They think working harder at a meaningless job will make them rich. No, it won't. You can work 12 hours a day your entire life and still die broke because you never learned how to make yourself valuable. The key isn't to work harder, it's to work smarter, with leverage, with intent, with purpose. You have to build systems, build connections, build something that multiplies your effort. Because hard work alone is not enough, intelligent work is. You have to be obsessed with self-improvement. The market pays for skill, not desire. You can't want your way to wealth. You have to earn it. Every hour you spend learning, refining, and building makes you more valuable. But every hour you waste being distracted, complaining, or comparing yourself to others makes you cheaper. You either appreciate in value or you depreciate in value. There is no in between. You want to be paid like a king, but you think like a peasant. Kings build. Peasants wait. Kings create value. Peasants consume it. If you truly want to escape the system, stop thinking like the ones trapped in it. The world is full of people complaining about the rich getting richer, but they never stop to realize the rich are just better at providing value. That's it. They solve problems you haven't even thought about yet. They see opportunities where others see obstacles. So if you're broke, if you're stuck, if you're tired of being left behind, stop blaming the world and start asking better questions. What value can I provide? What problem can I solve? How can I make myself irreplaceable? The moment you answer those questions honestly and take action on them, money will start chasing you instead of the other way around. Because in this game, value always wins. You keep saying you want to be rich, but your environment is built for mediocrity. You spend your time surrounded by people who don't push you, habits that don't build you, and routines that keep you comfortable. You say you're grinding, but you're doing it in a place that kills ambition. Let me tell you the truth, your environment is either feeding your success or starving it. And most of you are starving in silence, thinking you're growing, when in reality, you're being drained every single day by people, distractions, and comfort. You can't expect to level up when you're surrounded by those who are content staying at level 1. You can't build a millionaire mindset while spending time with people who think a stable paycheck is the dream. You can't chase greatness in a room full of mediocrity. The energy around you matters more than you think. You absorb the habits, the speech, the beliefs of the people closest to you. If your circle is weak, you'll be weak. If your circle settles, you'll settle. That's the silent killer of potential comfort disguised as friendship. You have to understand something. Not everyone deserves access to your time. Not everyone deserves your focus. You can't keep pouring into people who don't pour back. You can't keep explaining your goals to people who mock them. Every minute you spend defending your dreams to those who don't understand them is a minute stolen from execution. You don't owe anyone your potential. You owe yourself progress. And that means cutting off the noise, the negative voices, the lazy friends, the energy vampires. The people who truly want to win surround themselves with winners. They find rooms that challenge them, mentors who push them, and friends who inspire them. They're not afraid to be uncomfortable. They're not afraid to be the smallest fish in a bigger pond, because that's where growth happens. Comfort keeps you small. Discomfort forces you to evolve. You'll never build wealth in an environment that lets you stay the same. Look at the people you spend time with. Do they make you want to be better, or do they make you feel like you're doing enough? Do they celebrate your excuses, or do they call you out on them? That's how you know who's keeping you poor. The broke mindset is contagious. It spreads through conversations filled with complaints, blame, and laziness. You start absorbing it without realizing. You start thinking small, doubting your dreams, making peace with mediocrity. And by the time you notice, years are gone. You have to rewire your environment. Replace negativity with discipline. Replace gossip with goals. Replace time wasting with time investing. If you can't find a circle that pushes you forward, build one yourself. Be the leader. Be the man who raises the standard for everyone else. Because your surroundings are either your prison or your power source. You decide which one they'll be. Stop hanging around people who don't believe in big dreams. Stop seeking validation from people who've never built anything. Stop letting those who gave up on their own potential tell you how to live yours. The truth is, small minds will always attack big visions. They'll tell you to slow down, to relax, to be realistic. But realism is just a code word for mediocrity. Every great man was once called unrealistic until he won. You can't grow in the same soil that created your limits. Sometimes you have to uproot yourself, leave behind everything that feels familiar, and plant yourself in a new environment that challenges you. It'll be uncomfortable at first. You'll lose people, you'll feel isolated, but that's the price of transformation. Growth and comfort never coexist. If you want to evolve, you have to outgrow. The truth is, your surroundings are sculpting your future more than your motivation ever will. Motivation fades. Environment shapes. If your environment doesn't remind you of your goals every single day, it's working against you. You have to build a life that makes success the default, not the exception. A room where laziness feels awkward, not accepted. A circle where winning is normal, not rare. Every successful person has one thing in common: they engineered their environment for growth. They moved away from distractions. They surrounded themselves with killers, with dreamers, with doers. They understood that proximity is power. You can't climb when everyone around you is pulling you down. And the longer you stay in that space, the more you'll convince yourself it's okay to stay average. It's not okay. You were built for more. But to reach it, you have to destroy the cage that's keeping you small. That cage isn't the world. It's your environment. You keep waiting for the perfect time, the perfect idea, the perfect plan before you start. But here's the truth: there is no perfect time. There never will be. Every second you wait for ready is a second wasted. You think you're being smart by preparing, by planning, by waiting for the right opportunity. But in reality, you're hiding behind fear. Fear of failing, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. That's why you're stuck where you are, not because you don't know what to do, but because you refuse to take action. The people who win in this world are not the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones who move even when they don't. They take imperfect action. They make mistakes. They learn fast. They adapt. And while you're sitting there waiting to be certain, they're already 10 steps ahead. The world doesn't reward thinkers, it rewards doers. Everyone has ideas, but only a few turn them into something real. The rest keep thinking, dreaming, and waiting for a tomorrow that never comes. You need to understand that execution beats intention every time. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you don't move, it's worthless. You can watch every motivational video, read every self-help book, listen to every guru, but none of it matters if you don't apply what you learn. Knowledge without execution is just entertainment. You're consuming motivation like it's a drug. It gives you a little high, makes you feel productive, and then you go right back to doing nothing. That's why you feel stuck. You're mistaking inspiration for progress. You don't need more time. You don't need more information. You need more courage. The courage to fail. The courage to start when it's messy. The courage to move before you feel ready. Because the man who takes consistent, imperfect action will always outrun the man who waits for perfection. You'll never be ready. You'll never feel like you know enough. But you'll learn more in 1 month of doing than in a year of thinking. You're broke not because the world is against you, but because you're against yourself. You keep sabotaging your progress with hesitation. You keep talking yourself out of opportunities because you don't think you're good enough yet. You think winners started as winners. No, they started clueless, scared, and unprepared just like you. The only difference is they started anyway. They took the first step while you were still debating whether to take it. You need to stop romanticizing the idea of the perfect moment. Success doesn't come from perfect moments. It comes from momentum. Momentum comes from movement. And movement comes from action right now, not later. You build confidence through repetition, not waiting. You become competent through doing, not planning. You grow stronger through failure, not avoidance. Every time you act, you learn something that gets you closer to winning. Every time you hesitate, you strengthen the muscle of fear. It's time to stop overthinking and start moving. You'll never think your way to success. You'll only work your way to it. You'll never plan your way into wealth. You'll execute your way there. The more you move, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you grow. But the more you wait, the weaker your belief becomes. Waiting kills dreams quietly. It convinces you that time is on your side when it's not. Time is your most valuable currency, and every second wasted is wealth burned. Action is the cure to every problem you have. You feel lost? Take action. You feel broke? Take action. You feel unmotivated? Take action, because motion creates emotion. Once you move, energy builds, progress builds, confidence builds. But when you stay still, everything inside you dies a little. You lose momentum. You lose power. You lose hunger. The only way to get it back is through doing. Every successful man on this planet built his empire by acting before he was ready. He didn't wait for certainty. He didn't wait for permission. He made decisions. He moved. He failed. He adjusted. That's how you build power. Through risk, through repetition, through relentless execution. The man who moves daily, who takes massive action without waiting for the stars to align, becomes unstoppable. Because the world can't stop a man who refuses to stand still. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the plan to be perfect. Stop waiting for the right day to start. The right day was yesterday. The next best day is today. You don't need the full map. You just need the next step. Take it. Because success doesn't belong to the smartest. It belongs to the boldest. It belongs to the men who act while others wait. It belongs to those who move now. You've heard every word, and now it's time to face the truth. Your time is running out. Every excuse, every delay, every "I'll start tomorrow" is killing the man you're supposed to become. You say you want success. You say you want wealth. You say you want respect, but you can't want it. You have to earn it. Life doesn't hand out trophies to dreamers. It crowns the relentless. The ones who wake up with purpose, move with discipline, and refuse to waste a single second. If you're not rich yet, if you're not powerful yet, if you're not where you want to be, it's not because you can't be. It's because you haven't committed. You've been comfortable pretending that time is infinite when it's slipping through your hands like sand. You've been lying to yourself, saying one day, as if one day will ever come. But it won't. The clock doesn't care about your plans. The world doesn't care about your feelings. Only results matter. Only effort counts. Only action creates change. You can't keep living like you've got forever. You don't. Every moment wasted is a moment you'll never get back. Every distraction, every comfort, every lazy decision is another chain tying you down to mediocrity. But the second you decide, truly decide, that enough is enough, that this version of you dies today, everything changes. Because that's the moment discipline is born. That's the moment focus sharpens. That's the moment your hunger becomes unstoppable. You've got to build yourself like a weapon, sharp, dangerous, effective. Not for others, but for yourself. For the man you could be. For the life you could live. Stop wasting time chasing instant gratification. Stop living like you have something to fall back on. You don't. This is it. Your life, your time, your shot. And if you don't take it now, you'll spend the rest of your life wondering what could have been. So stand up, get to work, move like your future depends on it, because it does. You're not behind. You're just not consistent. You're not unlucky. You're just undisciplined. Fix that and you'll fix everything. The money will come. The respect will follow. The power will be yours. But first, you have to master time. You have to stop wasting it. You have to own every second. Because in the end, it's not about being ready, it's about being relentless.